Hello, guys. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing good today. Good to see you all through another video, and I hope this session will be very useful to you all. Before we jump to the video, who are we? We are Data Valley, the fastest growing edtech company of 2025. And if you are wondering what do we do as a company, we offer you career development, and we help you through all parts of your career actually. So talking in context to that, we provide you with IT solutions, trainings, and placements as well. So for example, let's say you have a company and you need a talent pool of people. Yes, we do have multiple skilled professionals who can take over the job from day one. And talking about training support, yes, we do have our own training institute as well. So depending on in demand and the hot skill in the industry, we train professionals in a way that they get the job immediately. And in relevance to training, we take multiple subjects as in data analytics, data science, data engineering, Selenium developer, Python developer, Java developer, SQL developer, and then also we have subjects like web stack, full stack developer, UI UX designer, whatnot. Whatever is hot in the industry, we do have it in our training institute. And then I would like to share about the placement support. So whoever is enrolling to the training support trainings, you can be very sure that you are getting 100% placement assistance. So once you are here, we'll help you until you get a job, and even after you get a job, we are there to help you as well. So feel free to check out all these details in our website, datavalley.ai, which is our website name. There you will find all information about what kind of courses we do, and what kind of training modes we have, and what is the duration for each course, and what is the commitment from our side, and what is the commitment from your side. So feel free to check it out at our website. And now we'll jump to our video, and before that, let me introduce myself Franklin, and I've got almost 3+ years of experience as a data engineer. And I'm super glad to bring this video to you because this is more like a passionate and more like a knowledge sharing, and it's like a very passionate thing to me. So I feel really glad, and I welcome you all warmly to this session about our data engineering series. If you have been following us regularly, you would have been aware that in previously in our like data engineering series number 11, 12, and 13, we discussed about AWS Glue. And in this video as well, we'll be talking about the AWS Glue. And the context for today, it is about practical application and design. Okay, so that is our key part in here. And do not be confused as I'm taking too much of Glue lessons, because let's be practical and realistic. Any skill that you need to learn, you cannot cover it in one session or in an hour. You at least need regular repeated learning of the particular technology over a period of time. I think I'm making sense. So if you remember previously, we started with the basics. What is Glue? What are its components? What does it actually do? What is the use case for it? And then we further elaborated into its practical application and design. How does it how do you design an ETL job? How do you integrate with the multiple jobs? And how do you integrate your Glue with multiple services across AWS ecosystem? So these are the few things that we covered in our previous videos. In similar context to that, yes, we'll be talking about practical design and implementation in this video as well. And this is the third part of your practical design and application. Okay, so what are we learning today? The first question that we'll be learning today is, when would you use AWS Glue streaming versus Amazon Kinesis data analytics? So Glue streaming is one service, and Kinesis data analytics is another service. They might look similar, they might seem they serve the same purpose, but they do have their own kind of differences. So that's what we will see in our first question. And if you see this, this is the image for our AWS Glue streaming. Okay, and if you have been following our videos regularly, yes, you would be aware of that by now. This is the official logo, And I just put it there, so that you will enjoy it visually as well. It's not about too much of writings and letters only, but this will help you to visually engage as well. So this is the official icon for your AWS Glue streaming. So this has a funnel, and I think the image makes sense. It is, the data is coming into it, and it's like an extraction part. The transformation happens here, and then the data is loaded outside, right? So this is the basic design of your basic icon interpretation. Okay, cool. Let's see the difference. AWS Glue streaming and Amazon Kinesis analytics both facilitate real-time data processing, but they are suited for different types of streaming workloads. So, as I said earlier, both of these services might seem similar because they have one common purpose, but it doesn't end there. As well, they serve multiple features and multiple different kinds of workloads as well, which we'll be diving deep to know more about. Okay, so what is the one common thing that people always get confused about? Yes, Amazon Glue streaming and Amazon Kinesis data analytics, they both do real-time processing. Okay, which is fine. But though they do the real-time processing, their actual purpose or underhood functionality is entirely different. Okay, the first thing that we'll see about is AWS Glue streaming. AWS Glue streaming is best used for complex ETL operations on streaming data. So, yes, as I said earlier, they all serve the same purpose, okay, which is real time data streaming processing. But here is the difference. When you have a complex ETL job, okay, and to perform your complex ETL job, yes, you use AWS Glue streaming. And for this particular ETL job, when you have extensive transformations like data cleansing, schema evolution handling, joining with other data sources, which can be a streaming or a batch source, Glue streaming offers the powerful Apache Spark structured streaming engine to handle these complex tasks. So Spark structured streaming is a different component of your open source Apache Spark, right? So similarly, under the hood for your AWS Glue streaming, you have Apache Spark structured streaming, where you will be able to perform complex ETL. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load operations on your streaming data. All right. And next, building data lakes with streaming data. So, if the goal is to ingest, transform, and load streaming data into data lake, example Amazon S3, for long term storage and subsequent analysis with tools like Amazon Athena or Amazon Redshift Spectrum, Glue Streaming provides the necessary capabilities for data preparation and partitioning. So, if your goal is to construct a data lake with your streaming data, so you would mainly rely on your AWS Glue data streaming. All right. So, why is that, and how is it even relevant? Okay. What is basically your uh, what is that? What is that basically your glue does? It helps you to perform ETL, right? Similarly, now you have a streaming data. So for that particular streaming data, you want to perform the ingestion, transformation, and loading of these streaming data into data lake, but all in real time. Okay, so you're going to do all this in the real time. And Not only that, your Glue streaming can integrate with your Amazon S3. And S3 is the one that acts like a data lake, isn't it? So your data lake, why do you put the data in it? For long-term storage and subsequent analysis using your AWS S3. And not only that, for analysis, you can integrate with tools like Athena, Redshift Spectrum, and Glue Streaming provides necessary capabilities for data preparation and partitioning. And the third use case for Glue Streaming is that it can integrate with wide range of data sources and sinks. Glue Streaming can connect to various sources like Amazon Kinesis data streams, Apache Kafka, including Amazon MSK and Amazon S3, and load processed data into diverse sinks including S3, JDBC data stores, and other custom targets. All right. So not only that, yes, we have seen that it can do complex ETLs. Yes, we have seen that if you need to construct a real-time data lake with the streaming data, yes, that is possible. And much is the truth that it can integrate with wide range of data sources. Even when we learned about building our data lake with streaming data, we learned that your Glue stream can integrate with data lake, that is your S3. It can integrate with Athena and Redshift Spectrum as well. And much is the truth that your Glue streaming can integrate with sources like Amazon Kinesis data streams, Apache Kafka, which is another real-time processing engine. You can integrate with S3. You can integrate with Glue Data Catalog. You can, also integrate with other JDBC compliant databases and other targets as well. So to process your real-time data, it comes with all these kind of features, which is very useful for using Glue streaming. Okay, fine. Now let's also talk about our Amazon Kinesis data analytics. So we learned that Amazon data analytics, or you can call it as Kinesis data analytics. It's up to your choice, but let's go with the official name. Kinesis data analytics. So what do you do? So in Kinesis, you have real-time processing, but with addition, you also get data analytics. That's the point. Okay. So in Glue streaming, you process the data in real time. But with Amazon Kinesis data analytics, you'll be able to perform analytics as well. Okay. First, let's have an idea about this icon here. So this is the icon for Amazon Kinesis data analytics. So as you see here, it's a streaming data, and in front of that streaming data, you have like a chart, right? A data chart, which just represents that you can also perform a data visualization or like a data reporting or data real-time data analytics as well. Okay, let's see the use case scenarios for our Amazon Kinesis data analytics. The real use case for Amazon Kinesis data analytics is that it can be used for real-time analytics and dashboards. When the need is to perform continuous queries and aggregations on streaming data, so what are you doing here? So you want to continuously use queries. You want to get an insight or run and you want to get a result. And when you want to perform aggregations on streaming data to get an insight from your real time, then you can use your kinetics data analytics. Okay, the kinesis data analytics, and it also helps you to derive insights for your real time dashboards. So you're going to have not just you're not just processing the data in real time, but in addition you're also constructing data for your real time dashboards, for real time alerts, for real time operational monitoring. And not only that, Kinesis data analytics, especially with Apache Flink, provides low latency processing required. So it helps you to provide the low latency processing as well. Next off, we have building sophisticated streaming application. If the requirement is fine-grained control over the streaming logic and want to develop custom streaming applications using Apache Flink, Kinesis Data Analytics offers a fully managed environment for running these applications without managing the underlying infrastructure. So, when you need to have a control over the streaming logic, okay, whenever you want to develop a custom streaming application, then your Kinesis data analytics has an important role to play. And along with your tools like Apache Flink, you can construct a low latency processing machine. Okay. And Kinesis data analytics offers a fully managed environment. So, fully managed environment, what does it mean? It just means that all your, you know, management of your data or all your real-time data analytics, okay, will be performed in a fully managed environment, which is nothing but your hardware provisioning, your networking, your storage, your security, your processing engines, your compute power, everything is managed by your AWS. All you have to do is select your source, select your target destination, select what kind of transformations or what kind of data would you like for developing the dashboards. So these kind of informations will be managed by you, but anything to do with the hardware levels, it will be completely managed by your cloud provider, that is AWS in this context. Offers a fully managed environment for running these applications without managing the underlying infrastructure. And then off you have sessionization and pattern recognition. For use cases like clickstream analysis or IoT data processing, where you need to amplify, where you need to identify and group related events into sessions or detect specific patterns in real time, Kinesis data analytics with Apache Flink is well suited. So we already know that data analytics, that is Kinesis data analytics. So let me call it as KDA, okay, for just in short form. So KDA along with Apache Flink is well suited for your low latency processing, right? On top of that, you get other features as well. When you need to perform analysis, or in use cases like where you need to perform data processing of your IoT data, or where you need to identify and group related events into sessions. For example, let's say you want to detect a pattern in real time. Yes, your kinetic, your KDA comes into play along with Apache Flink. Simpler transformations and aggregations. If the streaming data only requires relatively if the streaming data only requires relatively straightforward transformations or aggregations, example calculating averages, sums or counts over time windows, Kinesis data analytics can efficiently handle these tasks with less overhead than complex ETL jobs in Glue streaming. So in Glue streaming, yes, you can do transformations as well. Can you do transformations using your Kinesis data analytics? Yes, you can. So if the streaming data only requires relatively straightforward transformations, okay, so you're going to have like simplified and like straightforward transformations, you're not going to do any complex transformations, then you can use KDA. Okay, and talking about straightforward transformations like just calculating the averages, you want the sum of particular column, you want to count the total number of values over the windows. That is where your KDA comes into play. And KDA is so specialized and it can be efficiently handling all these kind of tasks with less overhead than complex ETL jobs in glue streaming. Okay, so for complex transformations, go for glue streaming, and for simpler transformations, go for your KDA or Kinesis Data Analytics. So that is all for today for your glue streaming and KDA. Okay, I hope the difference is very clear. So glue streaming is for your complex ETL jobs and it is for processing your real-time data. But Kinesis Data Analytics is for processing your real-time data, including like simpler transformations, and then having your real-time data dashboards constructed as well. So you are performing analytics as well, not just the transformations. So that is the key difference between your glue streaming and Amazon Kinesis Data Analytics. Off next, you have to explain the use cases and benefits of AWS Glue DataBrew. Okay, so what is the Glue DataBrew? Yes, it is one of a service from AWS. You are right. What else? It's used for ETL. It can be used within an ETL, but it's not exactly ETL. Okay, fine then. Anyone in the comment section anymore? Like a visual interface tool? Yes, you're almost right. Yes, it's like a visual interface tool, right? Okay, fine. So thank you for all your answers. But let's see by definition as well and by the documentation as well. First off, let's see what this logo signifies. Okay. So based on this logo, what do you get to understand? So basically, what I'm trying to get an idea here is data of different types are getting dumped, and these data is somehow transformed into an useful format. Okay, so that is why this arrow marks come in. Let's check it out. But disclaimer, yes, it is correct. Okay. AWS Glue Data Brew is a visual data preparation tool that enables data analysts and data scientists to clean, normalize, and transform data without writing any code. It provides a user friendly interface for exploring, manipulating, and merging data from various sources. Just give me a sec, let me drink some water. Cool. So, you all mentioned ETL, isn't it? It's not exactly ETL, but it helps you to prepare your data. Okay? So, using your Glue Data Brew, you can prepare your data using an visual interface. And this tool is highly useful for data analysts, data scientists. Why is that? Let's say they are not too proficient in coding. Okay, usually data analysts would deal with SQL. They wouldn't be dealing with Python or any kind of ETL job. It is not their role, or it is, at least in most cases, it is limited to their job role, right? So this data brew comes into play, and it helps in a way that your data can be prepared by your data analysts by themselves, or talking in context to a data scientist, yes, they themselves can prepare their data of their own choice. Okay, so for to clean your data, to normalize your data, and to transform your data without writing any code. Okay, that is a key point here. So Glue Data Brew helps you to prepare your data using an visual interface. Okay, it provides a user friendly interface for exploring, manipulating, and merging data from various sources. Just give me a sec, let me take a short break. Okay, coming back to our video. So sorry for the short break. And okay, so as I said earlier, Glue Data Brew is a visual data preparation tool. And this is highly used by your data analyst and data scientist. Okay. And as I said, the reason is very simple. It is because they wouldn't be so proficient enough in writing codes for data cleaning, data nourishment, or you know to standardize the data. But your Glue Data Brew, it provides a user-friendly interface to explore, manipulate, and merge your data from various sources. Okay. Now let's talk about the use cases. First, we have data cleaning and standardization. Data Brew is used to identify and correct data quality issues such as missing values, inconsistencies, duplicates, and outliers. It helps standardize data formats, ensuring data consistency for analysis and reporting. So, using Data Brew, okay, you can try to identify and correct data quality issues. So, what are the kind of, I mean, not everything is mentioned, but what are the few transformations that you have? So, for example, you need to handle your missing values. Yes, you can. You have data inconsistency. Yes, you can handle it. You have data duplicates. Yes, you can handle it. You have outliers. Yes, you can handle it. So, all these can be handled well by your Glue Data Brew, isn't it? So, the next use case is exploratory data analysis. So, what do I mean by exploratory data analysis? Feel free to write in the comment section. So, you have your meaning in the name itself. So, it's nothing but you explore to analyze your data. Okay. So, basically, whatever data you have, okay, you try to analyze and you try to come to a summary. Okay, for example, like what is this data about and what is this data trying to address. So this is like an ad hoc analysis, just you explore the data and you try to understand the data, and therefore you can take it further for your downstream applications. Okay, so data analysts can use DataBrew to visually explore datasets, understand data patterns, and identify potential areas for transformation before building analytical models. So, for as I said earlier, it is very useful for data analysts and data scientists because first thing they are a visual interface tool for your data preparation, and not only that. Further, if you are talking about the data analyst, they need to develop analytical models, right? And for that, they can easily visualize the data. So while they explore, they can try to understand the data patterns. They can, it is helpful in identifying the potential areas for transformation. So basically, they get a good idea by performing an EDA before constructing their analytical models. And of next, we have data preparation for machine learning. Data scientists use DataBrew to prepare datasets for machine learning model training. This includes feature engineering, handling categorical data, and scaling numerical features. Okay, so data scientists, they can try to utilize DataBrew. Why? So yes, first reason, as always mentioned, it's a no code visualization interface tool, and then they need to prepare their data for machine learning models, right? So whatever they have, they need to develop a machine learning model as well. Like as how an analyst develop an analytical model, so does your data scientist develop your machine learning model. To develop your machine learning models, you need to feed it with the right data sets. Am I right? Am I making sense? Yes, you need to provide the right kind of data. So using your data brew, you can prepare the particular ML model data sets. And not only that, on top, so while preparing data sets for machine learning training, and for your machine learning model training, it also includes further preparations like feature engineering. You'll be handling categorical data, you'll be trying to scaling up your numerical features. So all these are included in your data preparation for your machine learning context. Self-service data preparation. Business users and analysts can independently prepare data for their specific needs, reducing reliance on data engineering teams for routine data cleaning and transformation tasks. So, what happens? Let's talk about a business user. A business user is never going to focus on all these things. His goal is to run his business. He will have certain requirements. He'll be conveying that to a technical team, and we technical people will try to come up with a solution. That is how it works, right? So, for a business user, what if he needs to prepare a certain data? What if he need to explore the data and he needs to do something on his own? So they don't want to always rely on a data engineer, right? So we don't want to create any visualization reports or any kind of ad hoc analysis insights. Yes, it's it becomes like an independent job for them. So even if you're just a business user, or you can be any analyst, business analyst. So if you need to understand the data or you're going to use the data for certain use case scenarios, yes, you can use data brew on your own to process or prepare your data for a downstream application or whatever your requirement is. So you are getting like an independent, all not always depending on a data engineer. Integration with data pipelines. Data brew recipes sequence of transformations can be integrated into existing AWS Glue ETL workflows or orchestrated using AWS step functions to automate data preparation within larger data pipelines. So, when you have to integrate with data pipelines, okay, for example, let's say you have another ETL job. So, using your data brew recipes, what do I mean by recipes? Recipes are nothing but a sequence of transformations. Okay, so to process your sequence of uh, transformations, what you can do is you can integrate all these data brew recipes into your existing AWS Glue ETL workflow, or also you can add all these to your recipes to your step functions as well to automate your data preparation within the larger data pipelines. Cool. Now learn about uh, let's learn about the benefits. Okay, the first benefit is no code visual interface. I've already explained it, right? So let's say you are a business user, let's say you are an analyst or a data scientist who is trying to, you need say data for some purpose and you want to perform a data cleaning. So you don't want to always rely on a data engineer. So because of this no code efficiency, you can try to develop these by your own. Okay, so therefore uh, you're being independent first in first place, and also uh, you necessarily don't need to have any kind of technical skills, so you can do it all by your own. And then off next you have increased efficiency. It significantly reduces the time and effort required for data preparation compared to manual coding or traditional ETL methods. So, in the usual, the way that we try to get the data prepared, or we try to perform ETL, whatever it is, if you are going the programmatic route, yes, it is kind of difficult, isn't it? So we cannot deny that. But however, you can significantly reduce the time and effort required for data preparation compared to manual coding or traditional ETL methods. So you are improving your time, I mean, you're saving your time and you're improving your efficiency. Enhanced data quality. Data brews profiling capabilities and built in transformations help improve data quality by identifying and addressing issues, leading to more reliable insights. So data brew has a profiling capability. Okay, so what is the data profiling? Feel free to write it into your comment section. So data profiling is a process of examining the data sources to understand the structure of the data, what is the content, what is the relationship between the data, like to collect the statistics, like the summaries. You can even try to get the data, like data informations, like is there is inaccuracies, is there is incompleteness of data, is there is inconsistencies. So therefore it's like a very crucial step, okay, so that you get a better idea about your data. So this glue data brewing has profiling capabilities, therefore you get a good idea about your data. And also it has built-in transformations as well, and because it has built-in transformations, you can easily improve your data quality by addressing the particular issues, right? By profiling you'll be getting the summary of your data, right? So by that you will be able to fix the particular issue, and therefore you can have a better reliable insight. Then repeatable and automated workflows. Recipes can be saved and applied to new incoming data, enabling automated data cleaning and transformation processes. So what is recipes? It's a sequence of transformation, right? So it's a sequence of transformation in your data, so near in your AWS data brew. So all these recipes can be saved, and whenever a new data is coming, you don't have to write it each time, like how we used to do in the AWS Glue. So for different kind of source and data, what you do, you programmatically write the data, right, in this Glue script editor. But instead, once you create a recipe here, all you can do is you just apply it to your new incoming data. Therefore, you enable automated data cleansing and transformation process. Next, DataBrew is serverless and scalable service. So because DataBrew is fully managed, what is fully managed? You don't have to worry about infrastructure management. You don't have to worry about hardware provisioning. You don't have to worry about networking, the security, or scaling up and scaling down. Nothing. All you have to do is build on your logic and work on it, right? So DataBrew is fully managed, and it can, it's a serverless service, therefore eliminating all the need to provision or manage any kind of infrastructure. And even with the higher volumes, it can scale up and scale down as by your data volume being processed. Okay, next, integration with AWS ecosystem. It seamlessly integrates with other AWS services like Amazon S3, Amazon Redshift, Amazon Audios, and AWS Glue Data Catalog, facilitating a comprehensive data ecosystem. So your data, right, your Glue Data Brew, what it can do, it can integrate with other services like S3. So even with your Glue, it can easily integrate. Therefore, these recipes can be used to prepare your data, isn't it? So you can easily integrate with S3, Redshift, or RDS, Glue Data Catalog, whatever it is. But therefore, it is facilitating your comprehensive data ecosystem. All right, now to our final question of the day. Discuss how AWS Glue integrates with other AWS services. S3, Athena, Redshift, Lake Formation. So we all know that Glue can integrate with multiple services, right? But how does these all integrate? Is there is any purpose for integration? Does it make any sense? Is it going to bring any difference to it? Yes, everything makes sense because you're integrating multiple services in first place. And then secondly, by integrating, you are getting the best out of each service, and therefore you are developing an optimized and an efficient an ETL job or other kind of data processing services. Okay, here is a simplified picture. So in here you can see that I've got Glue Studio from AWS Glue. It can integrate with your Glue data catalog, and from Glue data catalog you can store your metadata in your Glue data catalog, and from that your Athena can integrate to get a result by running query. Fine. This is just a sample template. You can also add more services like Redshift. You can add other services like lake formation. I didn't mention Athena here. Sorry, I mentioned Athena here. Yeah. So it depends. Depending on your use case, you can integrate multiple services to your AWS Glue. Even you can have an Amazon RDS. You can integrate your DynamoDB, Redshift, whatnot. It all depends on your business use case. But if you're wondering if they can integrate, yes, they can integrate. Okay, and therefore giving us a better ecosystem to work with. AWS Glue serves as a serverless data integration service that facilitates the discovery, preparation, and combination of data for analytics, machine learning, and application development. It integrates seamlessly with various other AWS services to provide a comprehensive data lake and analytics solution. So, our AWS Glue, it's a serverless data integration service. We all know that, right? And not only that, it can help us with discovery, preparation, and combination of data for analytics as well. And on top, not just with the data analytics, it also can integrate with services for machine learning and application development as well. It integrates seamlessly with various other AWS services to provide a comprehensive data lake and analytics solution. Fine. First, let's talk about the integration with AWS S3. What does S3 stand for? It just means that's simple storage service. It makes sense, isn't it? So, what does a simple storage service do? It can integrate with multiple services and tools, and it can perform like a data lake. Okay, so in simple, let me say what is a S3. Okay, so it acts like a data lake where you can put any kind of data. It can be a media file, it can be a structured data, it can be a semi-structured data, it can be totally unstructured data. It doesn't matter. All these kinds of data can be put into your S3 service. Okay, and S3 is a crucial part in our data engineering domain, or talking in context to an ETL, right? And especially for Glue, you need a data which can be processed. So where is this data going to be, isn't it? So your data gets stored into your S3. Okay, now let's talk about the integration of our S3 with AWS Glue. First, it can act as a data source and your target. AWS Glue jobs commonly read data directly from S3 buckets. Yes, we are aware about it, and write the processed data back to S3. Yes, we are aware about that as well. And you can process and write the data, and put it back to your data lake. Therefore, by taking all the data and putting the process data, whatever it is, and therefore it forms the foundation of your data lake. So because you're having all your raw data, your transform data or process data, whatever you call it, so all these remain in one place, and therefore they behave as a data lake. And next, glue crawlers. Glue crawlers scan S3 buckets to infer schema and metadata, populating the AWS Glue data catalog, which is a metadata repository, and it stores information like your table definition, schema definition, and data definition as well. So for whatever data it is, you can use crawler. So what does a glue crawler do? A glue crawler can crawl through the data stores and try to get a metadata about your table definition, schema definition, and data definition, right? So that is how you use your glue crawler. So these information can then be populated into glue data catalog automatically, and which can be used for your S3 as well. Okay, so your data is in S3, you're crawling using glue crawler, and the metadata gets stored into your AWS Glue data catalog. So that is a nice integration, isn't it? Next, Athena. How does it integrate with Athena? So what is the interaction between Glue and Athena? Okay, to query data lake, Athena, a serverless interactive query service, leverages the AWS Glue data catalog for schema information. This allows users to query data stored in S3 directly using standard SQL without provisioning any infrastructure. So Athena, what does it do? It is an interactive query service. So basically it's like you write a query, like usual SQL query. And when you put down the query by linking to your data source, it will be able to generate you with a result, right? A query result. So therefore, your Athena can leverage. So what is the data source here? what is the data store that you're going to use here. So you are leveraging AWS Glue Data Catalog for your schema information, and therefore you allow to use, you know, you allow the user to query data stored in S3 directly using standard SQL without provisioning any infrastructure. So I hope this is very clear. So Athena is a query service, interactive query service tool, and it can use the AWS Glue data catalog for the schema information, and therefore it is allowing users to query the S3 directly using a standard SQL language. Fine. Optimized data formats. Okay. For Athena, the efficient way to process the data is if the data is in columnar format. So basically, we get the data in an XML format, in an CSV format, TSV format, JSON format. So if you are trying to run query on these data, they are very inefficient. So you need to change the data to a Parquet format, which is considered very efficient, and it comes with very good compression, and you save in storage as well. So what are the columnar storage formats available? Parquet and ORC formats. So therefore, using AWS Glue, you can convert the data format, therefore leading to improved performance of your interactive query service using Athena. Off next, you have Amazon Redshift. Okay, so for Redshift, you use data warehousing, and this data warehousing, you all know that Redshift is a data warehousing tool, isn't it? So sorry about that. Okay, Glue, AWS Glue can be used to extract, transform, and load data from various sources into Amazon Redshift, a fully managed petabyte scale data warehouse service. So using Glue, you perform ETL. So you can have multiple different kinds of sources, and similarly, you can have multiple different loading destinations as well, the target destinations. So talking in context to this question, your Redshift can act both as a source and at the same time as a target destination as well. Okay, and it's a fully managed petabyte scale data warehouse service. So your Glue can extract and store data into your data warehouse, which is your Redshift. Fine. Off next, you have Redshift Spectrum. Redshift Spectrum extends Redshift's querying capabilities to data in S3. It uses the Glue data catalog for allowing for schema, allowing Redshift users to query data in S3 alongside data in their Redshift clusters. So, what is an Redshift Spectrum? So, usually the traditional way is to load your data into the warehouse and then run your query. But this is quite different. Instead of loading into your data warehouse, that is your Redshift, your data will remain in S3. All you have to do is just initiate your Redshift Spectrum and you try to query the data in S3. And to query the data in your S3, we have to use Glue Data Catalog for schema as well, right? Because in your Redshift, you'll be having a structure for your data, but you need you're using Spectrum and you need to query the data. How are you going to do that? So you need a schema for it. So you fetch the schema from Glue Data Catalog and then try to check all the data in your, or try to run a query in your S3 buckets. And alongside, you use the efficiency of your Redshift cluster as well. And then you have AWS Lake Formation. Okay, what is the usual purpose of lake formation? So your AWS lake formation, it provides you with fine-grained access control. Lake formation provides a centralized security layer for data lakes built on S3. It integrates with the AWS Glue data catalog to manage and enforce fine-grained access control permissions on databases, tables, and even columns. So first things first, Your lake formation is going to provide a centralized security layer for your data lakes. Okay, what is your data lake? Your S3. So it provides security layer for all your data in your S3. And on top, it can integrate with your Glue data catalog as well. And what does it do? It manages and enforces fine-grained access control permissions on your databases, tables, and your columns. And then you have unified security model. Lake formation simplifies security management by allowing you to define permissions once and have them enforced across various integrated services, including AWS Glue ETL jobs, Athena, and Redshift Spectrum. So, not just limiting to your S3. Okay, your lake formation, it simplifies security management by allowing or defining permissions to multiple integrated services like AWS Glue, Athena, Redshift Spectrum, and other services as well. Then you have access to your Glue data governance as well. So data governance is not a tool or a service, but but data governance is a policy or a compliance you must have for all your data. Okay, so to have a governing of your data, okay, how do you do it? How do you implement data governance into your data? So you can implement data governance using lake formation. Okay, lake formation in conjunction with glue. Okay, so your lake formation and your glue is getting integrated, and you enable robust data governance by controlling who can access what data and how. Okay, so lake formation is already giving you permissions to access your data, or how you're processing your data, these kind of informations, right? So using this, what you can do is you can try to get governance control. Okay, governance control for all your data, for checking who can access the data, who can what kind of activities they can do for the particular data. Therefore you are ensuring compliance, therefore you are ensuring the data security as well. So this is how all your services can be integrated, and they can all work together to provide a complete AWS ecosystem, right? I hope this session was very beneficial to you, and I ask you to provide continued support for our video. If you like this content, do give a like, and if you have any questions, drop your questions in the comment section. Also, feel free to share it with your fellow friends who are trying to get into data engineering, and good luck with your interview preparations as well. And before we end, who are we? We are Data Valley, the fastest growing edtech company of 2025. And if you're wondering what we do, we provide you with IT solutions, trainings, and placement support. And we do have our headquarters in US, UK, and also we have four data centers in Hyderabad as well. So if you are based in one of these regions, feel free to check out on our company. And to know more about our company, you can check out the information at datavalley.ai, which is our website, where you will get a broad idea about what we do as a company, what is our vision, what is our mission, how we can help you in your career development, all sorts of these kind of information. All right. So that is all for today. I'll see you in another video. Until then, this is Franklin signing off. Good luck. Bye bye. Take care.